So today we're going to be talking about the most, what did you call it, couture? Cosmopolitan neighborhood in Houston, the Galleria. We're going to be talking about the top 5 reasons why you might want to live there. So if that's what you're into, that's what you want to hear about, stick around. We're getting after it right now. This is the Living in Houston, Texas channel. If you haven't been here before, don't know anything about it, it's all about the good, the bad, the ugly, the ins and outs of living here in Houston, Texas. If that's what you're interested in, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, that way you're notified every time we put out a new video. Now, whenever you, your friends, anybody you know are looking to move here to Houston, give us a call, send us a text message, shoot us an email, any which way you want to reach out to us. We love helping people make that transition to our favorite little spot here on earth. Now, Houston. Now, we're going to be getting into it. So tell me about the Galleria.
So, growing up, that whole neighborhood has always been referred to as the Galleria. The Galleria is a mall, but that whole neighborhood around it, which actually, we always just refer to as, the Galleria area. Which could extend out a couple of miles.
Yeah.
Today, they have actually gone in and, not today, but fairly recently, they have named, the developers have named it Uptown, the Uptown District. So it's often referred to as Galleria Uptown or just Uptown District. So you're going to hear us today talk about Galleria and Uptown.
Almost interchangeably.
Exactly.
But really, it's the Uptown.
And we're going to pop up the map right now so we can get a lay of the land, and you can see that a lot of people consider this whole big area Galleria, but we're just going to hone in on this one little section here. So within that section, the median age of residents is 37 years old.
Wow.
So fairly young.
Yeah, that's pretty young.
Nearly 62% of Uptown residents have a college education or higher. Yeah. So fairly educated crowd. And more than 47% of Uptown residents have a household income of $75,000 or higher. Okay. So those are just some quick facts to get us started. Yeah. We're gonna go straight into it and hit our number 5.
Okay, so look, you're gonna wanna stick around to the number 1 because it is the most important reason, so stick around to the end. But we're gonna start with number 5, and number 5 is?
Public transportation.
Yeah, so look, we've done these videos time and time again, and public transportation comes up as one of the negatives.
It does.
What makes Uptown Park area or the Uptown area so different than the rest of Houston when it comes to public transportation?
So the group that's developed that whole Uptown area and gone in and named it foresaw the future where the population was just going to be exploding in that area as far as job growth and the number of housing units that were going to be needed. And so obviously land is limited. They built vertically. And within that you're going to have a lot of people. They're not going to, there's not going to be space for everybody to have a car. And imagine what the traffic would be like. It would be like everybody in New York City having a car, because the plans for that development are fairly similar, where you're going to have more high rises and condo living. And so you need to have some form of public transportation. So a couple of things. It's hot in Houston.
Yeah. They
opted not to do a light rail system through there, so they came up with something that's called Metro Rapid.
Okay, so they invested, do you remember how much it was? I remember hearing it was however many billions of dollars to revamp the entire public transportation system in that section, in that part of Houston.
I don't remember how much it was, but what they did essentially was they came up with this, it's like a hybrid between a train and a bus. So the first thing that they did, because they knew it's hot here, right, a lot of the year, and humid, and so they ripped out all of the trees that lined Post Oak Boulevard, and they brought in they had these special, they're called Majestic Cathedral, they're live oaks, and they had them, I think, grown in Florida and then brought in to Houston and planted them all up and down Post Oak Boulevard. And they, as they mature, are going to provide a crazy amount of shade. So it really, the temperature under these trees is like, can be up to 20 degrees cooler.
Yeah, that makes so much sense because, you know, if you're living here in Houston, if you're living here in Texas, you'll see these parking lots and you'll have trees way on the back, and those are the first parking spots that fill up, are the ones that have the shade or underneath the trees. So that just makes absolute sense.
So they made it to where you're not going to be standing out in the blazing sun, you know, and it can be up to 20 degrees cooler in the shade, which in the, you know, summer is a big deal here. So essentially, the cool thing about it is, like, if you're getting on a subway or a light rail train, you just have that where you enter the train on the platform. Well, it's the same for this bus. So when you're at the station, you don't have to worry about stepping up. So it's 100% accessible, which makes it great if you
Or riding your bike.
Yeah, if you're in a wheelchair, whatever your situation is, it's going to be easy to get on, in and out. They're environmentally friendly, which, you know, for those of you that's important to.
Well, it also speeds up that level. It speeds up the turnaround for the stops because people don't have to climb up, find a seat.
They've actually got a dedicated transit lane, and you can transit-friendly lights. So the way that this works is it basically goes up and down Post Oak Boulevard, which runs kind of east and west. I'm sorry, north and south.
Yeah.
North and south. And then the cool part is, though, it's not just for people who live in the Galleria Uptown area. It's also for people who are commuting in from the suburbs.
Yeah.
So specifically, if you live out, like there's a West Park Transit Center. So if you're coming from the Southwest, like the Sugarland, Missouri City area, or the Northwest Transit Center, which is, it's over like kind of in between 290 and I-10 and the little V there. So you can connect there to buses that are going to take you back out to Katy or the Cypress area. So it's a great little commuter tool as well. And, you know, they've got the dedicated lanes for that Silver Line, though, just go up and down 610 and Post Oak Boulevard. So they're not even having to sit in any of the 610 traffic. It's amazing, actually.
And so if you've heard or watched some of our other videos, we talk about how gridlocked that 610 area is around that around that Uptown area.
Yeah, it is. And it's like $1.25 a ride, and you can get the tickets they have a mobile app, or you can purchase tickets. I think like there's a vending machine at some of the stations.
Yeah. So public transportation, that segues pretty easily into our number 4 point, which is
walkability.
Walkability.
Which is another rare thing in Houston, to find a neighborhood where you can live, work, and walk everywhere.
Right. Because, you know, what is it? Nobody walks in LA. Nobody walks in Houston. It's a town that just is notorious for its walkability. But this particular section
had lack of walkability.
Yeah, lack of walkability. Sorry. But this particular section, you were telling me that it rated, what did it rate on walkability?
It's got an 86 walkability score.
86.
Which is very high for Houston. There's only, I think, 2 other neighborhoods that have that. So really high. You've got an abundance of shopping. You've got, oh my gosh, such a great selection of restaurants, because as you know, we like our food. So
it's like 2 things in every video we talk about: traffic and food.
In fact, we just celebrated my birthday this past week, or this week. Sorry, this week. And we went to one of our favorite French restaurants, Etoile, which was really delicious, and we had a great evening. So that's actually over in Uptown Park. We did not walk there, but that's just because we live in the Heights. If we lived in Uptown, we definitely would have walked or taken the bus. Well, the other thing too is you're also, if you know, the buses run from 5 in the morning to midnight, 5 a.m. to midnight. So if you're operating outside of those hours, of course, you can always take an Uber or a Lyft.
Right.
So, okay, so let's get into reason number 3.
Reason number 3, which segues actually nicely from the walkability. It's because of the...
Oh, we forgot something.
What did we forget?
Well, walkability. What's important in walkability, right? If you live in New York City or another major city, you need to have access to a grocery store.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And there is actually a very large Whole Foods store right on Post Oak Boulevard. So literally, you do not have to leave the neighborhood. It is right there. And it's actually probably one of the best stores in Houston as far as the selection goes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We're big Whole Foods shoppers, so. Anyway, okay, now we can segue back into number 3. My apologies.
Well, walkability, another aspect of it is the ability to be able to get outside and exercise and get in touch with nature, right?
So number 3 is Memorial Park.
Yeah, so Memorial Park is just, oh golly, what were you saying? Back in 2011?
Yeah.
That was
we had a huge drought, bunch of trees died. Really, really sad, because obviously they've been growing there a long time. And so a lot of that has come back over the years. Again, these developers have gone in and completely are revamping the park, and it's actually considered a part of this Uptown project.
So one of the cool things that I liked about it was, you know, like any park or anything, you've got you still have to have road traffic going through there, but to prevent people or to stop people from having to cross the roads or animals from crossing the road, they built these, what do they call them, land bridges?
Land bridges.
Yeah,
they're actually very attractive.
Yeah, so literally you can get from any part of the park to another part of the park without ever having to cross traffic or cross a street.
And you've got a golf course, you've got the arboretum. My gosh, there's so many things you can do. Lots of people run, you can play tennis.
They've got, that's
go
where
hiking.
the polo center is, you've got horses.
Got the whole, yeah. So a lot going on in Memorial Park. So if you're an outdoors person and you want to get outside and you're worried about being too concrete, you know, you have access to Memorial Park, which is, again, they've got over 4 million visitors annually, and it's 1,500 acres.
Now, you were telling me this in another video or another something, but it's how many, and I'm putting you on the spot here, but how many times larger than Grand Central Park in New York City? Something like.
I have no idea. I don't remember that.
You don't remember?
No, I don't retain. Carrie retains lots of
crazy
interesting facts. But they've got picnic areas. So there's 5.5. There's a 5.5 acre lake, and you've got all kinds of new trails and boardwalks. It's really beautiful, and if you're in Houston, definitely go check it out. And to me, it's a huge, you know, reason. We put it as number 3 just because we have a couple of other things that, you know, but we think it's a great reason. The land bridge and project is projected to finish sometime at the end of this year, so that should be.
Yeah, we were driving there the other day. It was looking almost done. All right, look, Houston is huge. Houston is an hour away from Houston, and as detailed as these videos are, it's just scratching the surface. That's why whenever you're getting ready to make your move, or anybody you know, you really need to reach out to us so that we can help you find your perfect little place here. We love helping, so give us a call.
All right, so that takes us to the number 2 reason.
Number 2
is the job market, believe it or not, which I think is a pretty important thing, especially given the national economy and what's going on in the world right now. The fact that so many people are moving to Houston right now, you know.
Well, so you were going through and laying out some of the top employers there in the Galleria. So there's some concentrated areas of job downtown. We've talked about the energy corridor, we've talked about the Woodlands, but a lot of people would be surprised at the number of headquarters or the number of huge office complexes, employers right here in the Uptown Park.
There's over 2,000 companies in Uptown, which is massive. Okay, I'm just gonna throw out a few names of the 2,000 companies. You've got companies like Apache, Bechtel, BBVA, BHP, CBRE, Clear Channel Communications, Heinz, HINES, not the ketchup company.
Not the ketchup company.
iHeartMedia, Landry's Restaurants, which are huge here, and you know, I guess a shout out to Tillman Fertitta.
Yeah.
Stewart Title, Univision, Spectra Energy Corp. You've got 28 million square feet of commercial office space.
28 million
in Uptown.
That's
not of Houston. That's just in Uptown.
Just in Uptown.
So it's, you know, that alone to me is like a great reason. And again, all these things sort of, you know, blend in and marry each other.
The walkability,
being
the public
able to
transport,
walk, shop, do everything. Okay. The top reason for living in the Galleria Uptown District is the Galleria itself, which for those of you who don't know, it's a massive, massive shopping mall. But it's so much more than just a mall. And we're gonna tell you why. So it's more than 7 million square feet of retail space, which is pretty huge. So if you like to shop, you can shop to your heart's content.
Malls in general across the United States have been on decline over the last however long, but this seems to just be in a new renaissance.
And it's honestly, I've been going there since I was a small child, and we're going to touch on all the different facets. It's not just a mall. I think that they've done a really good job of encompassing entertainment, dining, and shopping all in one place. You've got they do roughly $4 billion in sales annually, which is a lot of money. They have more than 35 million visitors, just to give you an idea of how many people are in and out of that mall every year. So it's actually probably one of the biggest tourist attractions in Houston for sure. You've got anchor stores like Nordstrom's, Saks Fifth Avenues, Neiman Marcus. You've got Dillard's, Macy's, and then you've got a ton of couture shops like Gucci, all your high-end stores, but all the way down to, Gap, Banana Republic, Victoria's Secret, those types of places. You really have the whole gamut, right? So there's something for everybody, down to a gigantic Apple store there as well. So the other point that we like to make is that there's tons of dining options and really good restaurant options. So we'll start off, you've got a basic food court, not basic, I think a pretty good food court down at the lower level of the original Galleria building itself. And then you have restaurants sprinkled out through each kind of section. I think there's maybe 4 sections now with Galleria. It's pretty big, 3 or 4. And you've got restaurants like Cheesecake Factory, Nobu, so if you like Japanese food, it's really good sushi. You've got Mariposas at Neiman's, Shake Shack, which is a burger joint, and many more. I'm not gonna go through the whole entire restaurant list, but we're gonna have links down in the description. If you want any details on anything that we've talked about today, like restaurant lists, that kind of thing, we're gonna have all that down. So take a look and go check those out. It'll also have the information about the metro.
So just outside the mall though, there's also a ton of restaurants. There's like your Uptown Sushi,
Etoile, just French food. There's tons of restaurants all up and down Post Oak Boulevard as well. So there won't be
a
limitation or a lack of food or choices. So the other thing that I think is really unique about the Galleria is you've got a lot of entertainment options. Now growing up, the 2 entertainment options that were there were you could go ice skating or to the movie theater. Well, the movie theater has long since closed, but you can still go ice skating, and it's so much fun. That's actually where I learned how to ice skate, and it's especially fun at Christmas time, but you can do it year round. But it's really fun when they have all the Christmas decorations and things going. But now they have an escape room, which I just discovered. I didn't even realize that. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
We have family and friends that love to do escape rooms. They go all over the place doing them. You've also got, my notes here. Oh, a selfie museum.
Selfie museum?
A selfie museum.
I gotta see that.
And then you've got a children's play area. So honestly, going to the Galleria would be a great date night. You can go do a little shopping, you can go have dinner, and then you could go to an escape room or go ice skating. That would be very romantic. So if you're moving to Houston, give us a call, shoot us a text. We would love to help you. If you've liked this video, please give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell.
Ring that bell.
Let us know if there are any other areas of Houston that you'd like us to do videos on.
Put in the comments.
We're going to have our next video, which we'll put a link up to, is going to be the cost of living in Houston Galleria Uptown area. So thanks for tuning in. Until next time.
Bye-bye.